We have some pretty big Tesla stock news to go over in this video. Tesla's foray into India could result in a $30 billion investment, according to an individual close with Tesla and working on this agreement. Tesla is in advanced talks to make an entry into the country and may be open to committing nearly $30 billion in investments directly and indirectly. The first thing that I think is important to understand here is $30 billion is like $100 billion worth of investments in Indian terms. So Tesla investing $30 billion in India is like Tesla investing $100 billion or potentially more somewhere like the US or even in China. The dollar happens to go a lot further in India than it does in the US or basically most of the world. This investment may include a direct and immediate investment of $3 billion to produce a new small car from an Indian plant for the wider developing world, a $10 billion commitment from other partners to support this manufacturing venture, and a cumulative $15 billion investment in the battery industry ecosystem over a 5-year period. This factory, with a high degree of local made in India content, may cater partially to the Indian market and substantially focus on exports. Quote, if this works out, this will be the biggest foreign direct investment commitment in India. Tesla will invest $3 billion in the plant, and other partners in its manufacturing ecosystem will invest another $10 billion. In parallel, there will be another $5 billion investment in batteries that will grow to $15 billion. We are looking at a total of $30 billion, said a person close to the company and involved in discussions on the project. Quote, but unlike Apple, Tesla brings everything in one go. Don't think of Tesla as just an auto company. It is a tech company. It is a critical minerals mining and refining company. It is a design company. It brings in a huge ecosystem. The spillover from this to other industries is enormous. So wow, it seems like we could get the official announcement coming out sometime over this extended weekend. And let me tell you, this changes the game for Tesla and for Tesla stock. Well, why is that? Number one, we know how successful Giga Shanghai is. It's Tesla's most profitable plant. It cranks out a lot of vehicles in a relatively short amount of time. That factory went online in 2019. It really didn't start cranking out vehicles until 2020, 2021, 2022. And now today, you're cranking out about 1 million vehicles a year, almost from Giga Shanghai. About 600,000 of those vehicles were sold in China last year, and a good chunk of those were exported to other markets around the world and to Europe. The margins on these vehicles made in India should be probably even better than China margins, since even paying the Indian people a fair wage is going to be less than over in China. I mean, there's like a huge difference. In China, the typical Chinese employee makes about $50,629 a year. In 2022, India's average salary was about $2,400 a year. So even to pay Indian workers an above average salary, still going to be a lot cheaper than China. And you know what that's good for, right? Margins. So in the grand scope of things, India is probably one of the best places you could put a factory, especially for a low-priced vehicle. If you think about it, usually labor is going to be like 30% of a plant, right? Of the overall operating costs. In India, it might be way less than that, and that's accretive to margins. Tesla currently has about $26 billion in cash. If it's only going to cost $3 billion to get a plant up and running, well, that's a good $3 billion spent. In fact, this India plant is what even some of your bearish analysts, your most bearish analysts, have been waiting for, like Craig Irwin with Roth Partners. He says Tesla needs an Indian plant. And when Tesla does get an Indian plant, then essentially he will have to get more bullish on Tesla stock. He currently has an $85 price target. So when this factory is actually announced and when we have some timelines put on this, you will start to see a lot of people raising their price targets on Tesla stock. Hopefully this plant wouldn't be forecasted to take years. I'm sure it would be pretty quick, kind of like Giga Shanghai was, and this could be accretive to Tesla's business here in the not so distant future. This Indian plant will also boost Tesla's total addressable market, better known as TAM. Essentially, besides most of China, Europe, the US, and Australia, this $25,000, maybe sub $25,000 vehicle is going to service the rest of the world. This could also be where the robo-taxis also start to be manufactured. Although I think that's a ways down the line, it's still something to consider. Let me know what you think about this news down below in the comment section. Personally, I think this is just the news to give Tesla the long-awaited bounce and subsequent a nice rally in 2024. Tesla stock in the RSI is sitting at 31.95. It's severely oversold relative to the broader markets, with just a 6% reduction in prices on the Model 3 in China. That's really been the only negative catalyst we've had so far in 2024, and it is absolutely decimated Tesla. This Indian facility, in my personal opinion, can balance out those effects and probably have quite a large influence on an upside move. But let's now get into the rest of your Tesla stock news today. Gary Black says it's been a rough couple of weeks for Tesla investors. Hang tough. Q4 earnings, full year 2024 volume guidance are coming. The Cybertruck halo effect is real. The $7,500 US EV rebate is now officially off invoice. FSD L4 is coming soon, and the $25,000 next-gen vehicle will likely come sooner than investors expect. Hopefully there are no more price cuts, or if there are price cuts, they are offset by price increases elsewhere. As you can see here from this chart, Tesla is down almost 12% so far in 2024, whereas all of your other big tech names are positive, besides Apple, down about 3.5%. But still, that's way better than Tesla. Tesla North America on X has officially posted about the $7,500 off invoice tax credit that will be applied to new Model Y, X, or 3's performance at the time of delivery. I think it's also important to remember what Cathie Woods says about Tesla stock.
As a trader also, understand that when you build a base like that, one of two things is going to happen. It's either going to break down, and that's what a lot of the bears have been betting on, and they've been throwing everything at it, or it's going to break out. Clearly, we believe it's going to break out. And the longer the base, you say 5 years, the longer the base, the bigger the breakout. So we're really looking forward to it.
Global inventory numbers for the Model Y spiking up big time again. Model X inventory falling, Model S inventory also falling, and the Model 3 just staying down here at basically a 12-month low. Google Trends data also falling for the Cybertruck, Model X, and the Model Y, but increasing for the Model 3, likely because the Model 3 just launched in the US and there's a lot of people trying to get their hands on one. Tesla continues to run about 400 different ads with Google. On Friday, we had option activity from hedge funds and institutions worth $2.19 billion in Tesla stock with a positive order value of 65%. So even though Tesla continues to get decimated, only having one green day out of 11 trading days, institutions continue to buy Tesla stock under the surface. Over the past week, it's been a rough week. You have had 3,871 trades from hedge funds and institutions, totaling $12.59 billion with a positive order value of 51%. Given that Tesla stock fell like a rock last week, you would expect to see a positive order value that is under 50, like 30 or 20. It's not the case. It appears cost to borrow fees are still around 10%. That suggests there's a lot of short sellers trying to take on short positions in Tesla. The higher the cost to borrow fees, the more demand there is to short Tesla. Thus, supply and demand forces cost to borrow fees higher. So that is probably one of the reasons why we have been falling like a rock recently. If you take a look at the dollar amount currently sold short, it's sitting at $20.23 billion. Keep in mind, in 2023, short sellers lost about $12 billion. It was about 10% of the total loss short sellers took in 2023. in just Tesla stock, in one stock out of thousands that are listed on the exchanges. This year is going to be even worse for the shorts. Short interest sitting at a new high that we have not seen in a while at 3.22%. If Tesla stock does pull a rabbit out the hat, if you will, and actually does start to rally, short sellers are going to be hurt hard by this one. The percentage of stocks above their 50-day moving average continues to decline as well. This market is once again becoming a top-heavy market where your big tech names are again the ones that are doing well and the rest of your markets have not been. 70% of stocks are now above their 50-day moving average. That is way lower than where you've seen during the highs in July, where the highs in July, you had about 77% of stocks above their 50-day moving average. Considering the S&P 500 is about 5% higher than the July high, it really does show this market is getting a little top heavy in 2024 so far. On Friday, 10-year Treasury yields did decline about 3.5 basis points down to 3.93%. The markets are now pricing in 6 rate cuts at 39.3%. The odds last week was 18.3%. The odds of 7 rate cuts currently at 18.8%. The previous week probability was 1.1%. Tesla stock on the charts is currently in what I would call no man's land. You're under the demand zone of 230 to 240. You're under the gap fill level of about 225. You're currently at $218.99 per share. Kind of in no man's land here. You either bounce back up, which it looks like we had resistance around 225, so that could be a little bit difficult here, at least without any good news. So we'll see what happens over this weekend. But you could fall, I mean, as low as $200 or so if things do not improve. Let me know what you think about all of this news coming out today, especially in regards to the Indian manufacturing plant. The overall $30 billion investment, that's a big number. Let me know what you think about it down below in the comment section. Hit the like button as well as subscribe to the channel. My name is Michael Tyler. If you guys want to come trade with us live in real time, check out that link down below in the description of this video. We are hoping 2024 is a great year like 2023, keeping risk management, due diligence, and really, risk management should help that process along. That's the most important thing when you are trading. So if you want to come learn how to trade, come learn the strategies that we are employing, check out that link down below in the description of this video. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.